I did hit it like a man the first time, just a
Oh,
gentle
thank you.
carry. Okay. New business, A, vacant student statute of limitations from the tax collector. There a motion?
Motion to approve the abatements as presented by the tax collector.
Second.
Could you add the amount? Actually list the amounts, please.
The amount of $2,363.11 for personal property, amount of $7,140.69 for motor vehicle, for a total amount of $9,503.80.
Second that motion.
Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously. Recognition of the tax assessor. Patty Moreau, our tax assessor, received an award,
An actual.
wooden award from the Northwestern Regional Association of Assessing Officers. Hereby presents the Sherry Vermillion Award to Patricia Moreau in recognition of outstanding service to the assessment profession. I wanted to publicly recognize her for this.
Go get it.
Congratulations.
Go get it.
Even though the public left?
Even though the public left, my 5 minutes of fame, they took all the school department.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Outstanding.
Outstanding, yes, it's no word.
Outstanding.
Outstanding. Thank you. Thank you. Now I can hang it on the wall.
You can hang it on the wall now if you want.
You weren't allowed to put it in front of the camera.
If someone gets an award, it should be.
Beautiful.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, next item, welcome to Foster sign proposal. This is a proposal from Mr. Estivo, so I'm gonna let him address it.
Oh, here is this.
So this was an idea I had just driving into town, actually right before our last council meeting. I noticed that Situate has their big welcome to Situate sign. Town of Foster doesn't really have any welcome to Foster signs.
They do when you come in from Connecticut.
Yeah, they're just the green, like regular.
Blue, I think it
We
is.
used to have a white one at the top of Dalico Hill 2 years ago, like an old wooden one.
Yep. Somebody probably took it out.
How about John makes this proposal? So what I was thinking might be a good idea is to have a contest where residents could create signs and present them at the Foster Old Home Days, and people could vote for their favorite signs. And the top, I came up with at least 8 locations around town where we could put them. The top 8 signs that got at least just 100 votes would then be put up around town. I passed out to the council a little list of criteria that I came up with after talking with our planner and our DPW director. I also spoke with Janet Brayton for Foster Old Home Days to make sure that it wouldn't be a problem to do this here, do that there. So the actual physical signs that people bring in would be the signs that get presented, that would be installed. The town would be responsible for the pole and the actual installation. They could put a clear coat on them to weatherproof them. But otherwise, I think it's a good opportunity for people to be creative, to get invested in the town, and to get some fun signs up that welcome people.
Foster, cooler and warmer.
I was just gonna ask if you wanted to see it.
I said it.
Yeah.
Free, you get
It was absolutely inspired by that. After seeing all the local towns that came out in response to,
Thousands of dollars.
you know,
So you're not just asking for designs, you want somebody to actually make a sign?
yes,
Close to Old Home Day, that's next month, July.
July 29th. So that's why I wanted to make sure we had firm criteria in place, probably by the next meeting, especially if we could hand it out at schools, before schools go out. Put it up on the website.
Are you looking for students to do this or
Anyone.
anybody in the public?
Yeah.
Don't we have fostering arts and stuff, maybe?
We got a lot of artists.
And how are you going to disperse this information?
So I was thinking, we could ask the schools if they would send us home with students. We could put it up on our website. We could, groups on Facebook and stuff, that's always good.
Put it in the Foster Home Journal.
Yeah, you will be able to get it.
They won't get it in June, but.
We get signs made on cardboard covering the front.
Yeah. What about the bargain buy?
Pizza boxes.
Does anybody read
Do something.
Is there a must to pick one? Because what if it isn't substantial?
Well, so that's why I said, so the way I envision the voting to work, and I'm willing to donate for myself, is whenever anyone buys a ticket, they can be given a token. And they take that token and drop it into a bucket that corresponds with the sign that they think is the best. So we would limit it to, I suggested the top 8 signs that got at least 100 votes. So that if there's only like 2 or 3 signs that everyone likes, and the rest many people don't like, then we'll get 2 or 3 signs that everyone likes and put those up. Assuming that the other ones don't get as many votes.
What I'm saying is, you have a way to check the materials and stuff. Suppose one wins that isn't worthy of being put up on the road.
Just like that, like fall apart.
Yeah,
Well, so that's in the
Fall apart and
criteria.
take time.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna submit them to instead of you.
Maybe I'll see it.
Keep you doing.
John?
So you're looking for a motion for the council to endorse this program going forward?
Yeah, and if you want, I can sort of come back with the criteria when they're in a more final form, but it's up to the council.
I think it's a nice idea.
It won't cost $189,000.
To allow John to go forward with this plan. Any further discussion?
Question. Do you, under the criteria, do you have something about appropriate language and graphics?
I went back and that one seems like common sense, but it's.
There's no consensus here.
How about one sentence at the end that says, all signs subject to approval, final approval by Foster Town Council? And that way, if there's anything with those
I'm
lines.
gonna do that.
Well, because it says it, you know.
Well, it does say all letters and words welcoming people.
Well, it would also have to abide by our ordinance for signs, I mean.
Right.
Yeah. it's-
Which means you can't edit content.
That's true.
Well, they're town signs. We don't have to put up, there are signs.
What about colors?
Government signs are
Something like that.
So the logo actually, I was thinking of putting on this criteria that the town, and I tried right-clicking it on the website, and it said this is subject to copyright, so there might be some issues with the, but I'm sure the town can license it.
No,
No, it's.
you can do it.
Yeah, but I think then also, we're just gonna need something eventually with people submitting it, know that they're giving up any rights that they have, that the town's getting all rights to reproduce their signs. But I think those are-
EPS file.
So we're endorsing the program, and you're gonna come back with the final criteria at our next meeting, is that the plan?
Yeah, because I think it needs to get out sooner rather than later.
Next meeting is gonna be very full.
Okay, further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Last item, flyer for tax ordinance information session, financial town meeting. So we have drafted letter here. Do you want to read it, John?
Well, so I guess, I was talking with Jane, I guess we found out that the school is not available, but the South Foster Fire Station is for the informational session and for your special financial town meeting. So I put together this letter that basically notifies people of the informational session, as well as the financial town meeting. says that the proposed ordinances can be found on our website. I did want to verify that the current up-to-date ordinances would be up there before it's come out. Outlines basically what the changes are in a very sort of
Clinical way.
And so this is the proposed flyer for consideration.
Read it? Excuse me.
Dear resident, the town of Foster will be holding an informational session on June 21st, 2016 at 7 p.m. at the South Foster Fire Station, and a special financial town meeting on July 12th, 2016 at 7 p.m. at the South Foster Fire Station. The informational session and special financial town meeting are being held in order to discuss and possibly adopt an ordinance that will change the tax benefits the town will provide in the future for senior and disabled residents that are not currently on the senior and disabled tax freeze. The town is not considering adopting any changes to the senior and disabled tax freeze that would impact any resident currently receiving a tax freeze. The town is also planning to discuss an ordinance that encourages business growth and economic development in certain commercial areas in the town. Copies of the proposed ordinances can be found on our website, townoffoster.com. The major changes to the tax benefits for senior and disabled residents, which again do not apply to anybody currently on the tax freeze, can be summarized as follows. There will be a 10-year residency requirement prior to being eligible for tax benefits. The age for eligibility for seniors will increase from 65 to 67. Seniors and disabled residents receiving the tax benefits will now be permitted to use their properties for a customary home occupation. The tax benefits can pass to a surviving spouse, but will no longer be allowed to be passed to children. Between the ages of 67 to 77, residents will receive a tax credit of up to $500 per year. The tax credit increases to up to $1,000 per year after a resident turns 77. The credit only applies to tax increases, meaning that you will receive the full $500 credit once your taxes increase by $500. We strongly encourage all residents to attend both the informational session and the special financial town meeting. Even though the proposed changes to the senior and disabled tax freeze do not change anything for anyone currently on the tax freeze, the council adopted.
That's 3 times.
Great.
The council adopted these proposed changes by a vote of 4-1 because the majority of its members feel strongly that action must be taken now in order to preserve the tax freeze for those that are currently on it, and in order to ensure that future benefits being promised by the town are within our means to deliver. We look forward to hearing your input on these important matters. Sincerely, Town of Foster Town Council.
Take a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve this.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes.
Go ahead.
When Mr. Lewis and I met, we discussed this possible flyer. And I believe I thought that this would be too much and that people wouldn't really read it and kind of toss it aside. That being said, it is well written. I do have a concern though. I believe it was Mr. Restivo at the last meeting suggested that we not play politics. But yet it says by proposed changes by a vote of 4-1, because the majority of its members feel strongly that action must be taken now in order to preserve tax freeze. I would prefer that it end at 4-1 because I do feel that that last portion is a political game, as Mr. Restivo had asked not to happen.
Well, I certainly wouldn't put words in anyone's mouth, so I would ask the other 3 members whether they feel like that accurately reflects their feelings.
Of the 4 members.
Well, I meant myself not included, so the other 3 members that were in that 4-member majority.
I think,
I can understand what she's saying. I can see how she reads that.
perhaps, I'm just.
I mean, it's really not relevant to the purpose of the letter either.
We could say the council adopted these proposed changes, not include the vote. 'cause
No, I
it's
don't
not-
have an
it's not
objection
really
to the vote.
relevant. Because instead of a majority of its members, because the council feels, and as a body, by vote, I think that's valid. The council feels strongly that action must be taken now in order to preserve the tax rates for those who are currently on it,
I would prefer it end at 4-1. period. And then that gives me a chance to rebuttal when you present the information in a public session, in an information session, right the way it's written here. I do not have a chance to. You're stating it was a 4-to-1. That's it. The rest of it is a political statement, in my eyes. And we'll leave it to the 3 other members.
Well, I think it's a true statement. So, may I move to amend it to remove the vote and say the council feels, because the council took the action, just like the council moved the Providence Water Supply Board to the financial town meeting, and I was against that agreement, but the council did it and I brought it forward.
And that was done at a public session. It was not done in writing where I do not have a chance to present my side.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't feel comfortable voting in a vote of 3-2, saying that 4 of us felt something if I didn't know at least all 4 of us felt something, so. That would just.
The letter's fine to me, but I understand Denise's point. It's really, it could be not relevant to the letter itself, so it doesn't matter to me. But after we get done with this, I have one other question about it.
But I don't see where it prevents you from speaking, right?
It does. No, it doesn't prevent me from speaking,
Right.
but this flyer goes out and it gives a political. Mr. Restivo was the one who mentioned at our last meeting, let's not have it be a political game. To me, that end of that paragraph is a political game.
Yeah, I think it's a gain for the residents of the
Not
town.
game.
Gain, oh.
Game, I'm sorry, I do have a cold. G-A-M-E, game. So I would prefer that it end right there at 4-to-1, period. And then we look forward to hearing your input on these important matters.
I'm fine with it the way it is. Mrs. Ryan?
It's not about that. It's about the letter. I think if you want people to read it, all you have to do is put a heading, proposed tax freeze changes. Believe me, they're gonna read every word. The other thing is, and I know this just sticks in my head, when you talk about the $500 tax credit, I think that you wrote that you would receive up to $500 per year. I understand what that means, but I think it's misleading. I think if you just said you would receive $500 tax credit, and then when you reach 77, it goes up to $1,000 tax credit, and then you have your explanation. But when you add per year, it sounds like every year you're going to get $500 off.
You do.
You do get $500 off?
If your taxes have gone up by 500.
Right, but you're going to get people there whose taxes only went up a couple of $100. And it doesn't make it sound like it's cumulative. It makes it sound, that you have that $500 pot you draw from. It makes it sound like every year there's a new $500. I mean, that's the way it sounds to me, and I think then just go right into the explanation that it is a pot, and you draw from that pot.
Yeah, but over here it says the credit only applies to tax increases, meaning that you will
Right.
receive.
But you're gonna lose people on the first couple of
If you
sentences.
You will receive the full $500 credit once your taxes increase by $500. Explain
That's
that.
still going to be confusing initially, because you're gonna have people come, and they're gonna be, hey, I'm gonna get $500, and then you're gonna tell them, no, that's not what it is, and they're gonna get mad.
This ordinance that you agreed upon, is there chance of any of it being changed through these discussions?
Well, I
Is
understand.
it a done, is it done deal the way you voted on it? Or are these suggestions that the public's gonna make, and if you agree on some of the suggestions, that you can change some of it?
I think the council already voted to move this ordinance to financial town meeting.
And the vice financial being tabled.
And they tabled it to a subsequent financial town meeting. So this information session is not to make changes to it, but to inform people, and give people an opportunity to ask questions and understand what it is. If any changes are made, we have to go back through the whole public hearing process, and that's not the intention. The intention is, this council voted to send those ordinances to financial town meeting, and based on the financial town meeting, nobody had the opportunity to understand these, we're gonna have the information session, and then they're going back to the financial town meeting.
Okay.
Without changes. When the council already voted to put them forward, the financial town meeting has already acted to table to the next meeting, so.
I'd like to go back to Mrs. DeFranco's concern about the way the letter is written, and it kind of just blew right over her concern. I agree with what she's saying. I don't see why you wouldn't honor her concern. She seems very strongly about it, and it's only a matter of a few sentences, and she's very strongly about it, and you're still going to get your point across. I don't know why you wouldn't consider changing that.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Could you end it, saying, changes by a vote of 4 to 1, and then eliminate because the majority of its members feel blah, 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 but still, somehow still recraft that last sentence? Maybe it's not action, maybe it's, or action, somehow get the point across that the feeling that action should be taken now in order to preserve and ensure the future benefits, it's that is still there, that sentiment is still there, without talking about the majority of its members.
That's the whole, well, I did suggest, it doesn't say the majority of the members, but says the town council, because the town council voted as a body. That is the will of the town council, the wish of the town council.
What you stated in the 4 to 1 vote. With the 4 to 1 vote, people will get the point that this is what you think is needed.
I think
They do.
I think actually taking it out waters it down. This gives it justification. Why are we doing this is going to be one of the first questions. Why are we doing this? This is why.
And you're going to answer that question.
Well, we were told by Mr. Chippendale that people don't understand why we're doing it. I want them to know why we're doing it. So now they will. They'll see it in the flyer.
And that wasn't my understanding of what Mr. Chippendale said. My understanding of what Mr. Chippendale was saying is that people didn't get a chance to digest it and to understand it. And even on the website, it was not really ordinance that we had adopted. So people did not get a chance to review it. So, but I still feel strongly, and you can take your vote, and I do want it known that I think the letter is lengthy. It does get the points, it has the bullets, but I object to the because of majority, etc. I would prefer it end with a vote of 4 to 1. That was my discussion.
Further discussion? More?
No, I'm just not sure why it's political, because if you strongly believe in your position and you're the one, then wouldn't you want to be separated from the rest of the majority that voted, to go on?
She doesn't have a problem with 4 to 1. I understand.
No, I know,
She has a problem because of the majority of its members feel strongly. That's, and
Well,
I understand.
then- You would
more
want
than
to
that,
be-
it's that it's because it's going to preserve, and I don't fully agree with that. I don't think that there's necessary data showing that if we continue the way we are with the tax freeze, that we won't be able to preserve that. So that's a position that's there, and my position is that no.
well,
So
except for one member who feels that it will not
No,
preserve.
and that's not making it clear.
You're beating this to death, you know how we're all standing on this. What is the capacity I have to get on Station 1? I'm not suspecting we're gonna get a lot of people out, but I don't think it's gonna reach the amount of,
50 or something?
I think
so it's actually more than we had in our financial town meeting.
See, the region offered us, Ron offered us the region.
It's not available
Oh, no, Paint School's not available. Paint School's not
now.
available.
I'd rather have it
The
in town.
region maybe, but it's far.
Yeah.
It's really far, people coming from Moosup Valley, and it seems.
I was just curious what the capacity was, and the point that it's actually higher than the total amount of people that attended the financial town meeting makes me feel comfortable that we're not gonna overpack it.
Okay, Mr. DiPaolo.
Isn't it council's practice and policy that if all 5 members don't agree, you wouldn't put it in writing or put it in print? Didn't you guys implement that a while back? When the council was putting out informational,
No, that's for the Forest
That's for
Home
the
Journal, that only
Forest
went through Denise and John, it didn't go through the general council at all.
Yeah, the Home Journal articles,
Don't go through the council at all, it's Denise and John.
right, because when we work on them together, they don't take positions, political positions or report votes. They say, we're having a
informational.
waste depot pickup on such and such a day. Patty Moreau won an award, you know, it's very
Am I
fast.
gonna get 5 more minutes?
Get through the independent out of that, you don't want to stop political.
It is fine, take your vote.
I'm not-
I want to
You
see.
gotta-
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor of approving this flyer, signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed?
No,
Motion carries 3-2.
no, because I understand what
We're
Denise is
gonna put a heading on it,
talking
right?
about.
What is it?
You are gonna put some sort of heading on it, right? This would be in the trash before you,
Right, so
All right.
big jumbo.
like in, okay.
Is this getting mailed to all the households? It is, okay.
Is this going in with my tax
No,
bill?
this is gonna go out before that because it's
Okay.
24.
No, as we talked about, a flyer will be mailed out separately. A reminder of the financial town meeting will go in with the
Yeah, with my
tax.
tax bills, so
It's $500.
And that will just be like a date card, I think.
it's around $500 for that.
And a little,
If you need it. If you
We'll
need
address it.
it.
Okay, so future agenda items, what's listed, we move the tax treaty to a future date when it is ripe for a vote. The public hearing for the Charter Review Commission, Charter Review amendments, June 23rd.
The capital expenditure removed from the Gloucester resolutions,
When would we like to do that?
that was going to be moved,
To our next meeting?
we were hoping,
The 9th? No, that's not June. So the first June meeting.
yes, the 9th.
Okay, so is somebody gonna take, craft something and try to make that make more sense?
I think Mr. Mosquito was doing that during the meeting.
Mr. Estate was gonna work
He
on
seems to
this.
think that, he seems to
A lot of things. Anything further?
I don't like to add it, it's the longest stretch we've ever gone without having executive session meetings.
I know.
Well, they're coming up soon.
Don't jinx it. John, also the welcome to Foster sign, I believe that was
Okay.
going to be
Okay,
And did you get the solar?
yep,
the tree.
and that's right.
the rest.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
John,